Greatness is more than just a spectacular moment. It's performing at the highest level, not just once, but again and again over the course of a career. I'm Steven Jackson, and in this episode of Legends, I'm talking about one of the greatest backs to ever play the game all time. He had the size, speed, and vision, and he brought his A game every game because that's what greatness looked like. I'm talking about future Hall of Famer, Fred Taylor. Frederick Anton Taylor was born on January 27, 1976, in Pahokee, Florida. He was a track and football star, but when Fred moved from defensive end to running back before his junior year, everything changed. As a senior, Taylor piled up 1,700 yards and 22 touchdowns. Awards followed. He was named All-State, selected as Florida Super Senior, and named to the Parade All-American team. Colleges came calling. Fred knew where he wanted to go, the same place as one of his favorite players, NFL great Emmitt Smith. He was headed to the University of Florida. In Gainesville, Fred was a star from the very start. The Gators started the 1994 season ranked number 1 in the nation and lived up to their reputation. Taylor was a huge part of that. As a freshman, Taylor totaled over 1,100 yards from scrimmage and scored 8 touchdowns. As a sophomore, a series of injuries kept Fred off the field. But in 1996, he returned with vengeance. After missing the first 3 games, Fred and Florida stormed through the regular season, losing only to Florida State. After winning the SEC title, Taylor and the Gators earned a rematch with the Seminoles in the Sugar Bowl, where the teams played for the national championship. Fred's second quarter touchdown put Florida up 21-7, and the Gators rolled to a 52-20 win and Florida's first national title. Taylor came back for his senior year, and although Florida would not repeat as champions, Taylor started right where he left off. He finished his senior year with 1,292 rushing yards, 4th in school history for a single season, and 13 touchdowns. And in his final college game, a win over Penn State in the Citrus Bowl, Fred had a school record 44 carries for 234 yards, still the most ever for a Florida running back in a bowl game. By the time of the 1998 NFL Draft, Taylor was regarded as one of the top running backs in the nation. He was taken 9th overall by the Jaguars, keeping him in his home state. Fred joined a Jag squad looking for a workhorse running back. He would become that guy much faster than anyone thought. In week 3 of the 1998 season, Jacksonville starter James Stewart suffered a torn ACL. Fred entered the lineup and almost immediately scored on a 52-yard touchdown run. And just like that, the starting job was his. He finished the regular season with 6 100-yard games, 1,223 rushing yards, which ranked 10th in the league, and 14 touchdown runs, which tied for 2nd in the NFL. He was named to the All-Rookie team, finishing 3rd for Offensive Rookie of the Year behind 2 Hall of Famers, Randy Moss and Peyton Manning. Entering year 2, Fred was primed to take his place atop the league's rushing leaderboard, but after a good first game, he suffered a hamstring injury in week 2. He was in and out of the lineup, but he finished the year extremely strong with 369 total yards and 5 touchdowns in Jacksonville's final 4 games. The Jags earned the top seed in the AFC with a 14-2 record. Fred was a monster in the postseason. After a bye, Jacksonville played Miami. On the second play of the 3rd drive, this happened.
Draw play, Taylor skips 2 tackles, right, and here we go. Yeah. Bye-bye, Brock Marion chasing. Brock Marion still chasing. Gets help from Smith, touchdown, no flags. A 90-yard run.
The 90-yard strike, which set an NFL playoff record, put the Jags up 3 scores. It also sums up what made Fred Taylor so special. His cuts were quick and almost effortless. His speed would catch defenders off guard. And once he had you beat, he was hard to catch. The Jaguars lost to Tennessee that season in the AFC Championship, but there was no question Fred Taylor was here to stay. In 2000, Fred posted an incredible streak of 9 consecutive 100-yard games, including a 234-yard game in a win against Pittsburgh. Despite missing the first 3 games of the year, he finished with 1,399 yards, 12 touchdowns, and led the league with nearly 108 rushing yards a game. Taylor lost 2001 to a groin injury, but over the next 3 years, Fred had incredible seasons. The highlights: he rushed for a career-high 1,572 yards in 2003. He ran for over 1,200 yards in 2004, besides missing the final 2 games to injury. Even after the Jaguars drafted Maurice Jones-Drew in 2006, Taylor continued to produce at an outstanding level, picking up over 1,000 yards. Then long past time was due, Fred finally got the league-wide respect he deserved. At the age of 31, in his 10th season in the NFL, Fred was selected to his first and only Pro Bowl. Fred played 2 more seasons with the New England Patriots. Then, before the 2011 season, he signed a 1-day contract with Jacksonville, retiring as a Jaguar. Fred remains the franchise's all-time leading rusher with 11,271 yards. He finished his career with 11,695 rushing yards, which now ranks him 17th all-time. Taylor wasn't one of the most decorated backs of his era, although he deserves to be among them. He had the vision, he had the grit, and the determination to show up year after year. And because of those traits, he'll be a future Hall of Famer. Fred Taylor, a special back, one-of-a-kind brother, and no doubt, a legend.